Alright guys, it's Copper Cutlass, and there she is in all of her glory. The J-headed 350, which we know has run great. And we have been even more surprised because after we CC'd the heads, we found out that we were actually running 9.6 to 1 compression with a pretty hefty cam. Let me just spring out the, so it's a 244, 253 duration at 50 thousandths lift, and it's a 557, 574 lift. That would be intake and exhaust. So the fact that this engine kind of ran that good is pretty impressive. If I was to bump up the compression ratio, this thing would probably rip even more. And it did that with an RPM intake. So I'm actually, even more impressed now. But again, we're not going to count our chickens before they hatch and all that crap. I went and picked up the intake from my buddy yesterday. I was really busy at the shop today. I didn't get the chance to clean up the intake surfaces for the gaskets. I have, since I do body work, I have a tool from Snap-on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's called a Crud Thug. It's like a wire wheel on steroids. It's like a stiff bristle death wheel that just removes like seam sealer and caulk and all kinds of shit that we run in the cars doing body work, and it is absolutely awesome. I love using that to clean up gasket material whenever I can because it just makes it so easy. I don't have to razor blade anything. I just go and it's just done. So, but the goal is that I have to have this done before Sunday. So Sunday, what's going on is, if you guys are from the Chicagoland area, there's a BOPC, Buick Olds Pontiac Cadillac swap meet going on at the Kane County Fairgrounds. And me and my buddy are meeting up there. Me and a couple buddies actually are meeting up there. And we're bringing my buddy's 351 Windsor here. And we're going to build that down here. We're going to measure everything out, but I want to have this done. And really all I need to do is just get the intake. I may order some valve covers for it, maybe not. I got to put the balancer on. I borrowed my buddy's tool, and you figure I should have my own tool, but I just borrowed it because, whatever. But we got our valve lash set. Everything is set. Everything should be where it should be. As far as everything else goes, I think we're going to, we're going to just kind of get this thing together, put it on a run stand, and make a date for the dyno at some point. And I would really be curious to see what this engine does on the dyno, because I think my hopes of this thing making like 415-ish horsepower is probably overestimated considering the compression ratio. But then again, it just shows you that we have an efficient combination overall, which works out real good because, that's what racing is all about. You're either going to make a ton of power to get a car going down the track, or you're going to properly utilize that power going down the track. So, we showed you guys that last fall when we did a series of small changes at the track in one day, and we went from we got the car down to like an 1151. We went to drag radials. That made a big difference. The timing curve made a difference in the 60 foot. There was a lot of little increments where they matter, and that is all about efficiency. So I guess my point for this video is just to show you that I got this all together. There is no need to show you guys. I've assembled plenty of motors and done all this stuff, and you guys can see all this shit. But valve lash is set. Everything's all set. Torque down. We got our oil pan on, and the pickup was on, and everything is good. It was just a busy weekend, and the cylinder head video that we did really took off. And I got to talking with my friend, and I think we're going to make a small series of videos, a little bit shorter, but we're going to point out some of the critical areas for you guys at home to do, and what you should be doing, what we think you should be doing, maybe at a certain power range. And we clearly have enough experience between me and Dave to really maybe give the right amount of guidance. I mean, I've built Like the engine that's in the Pontiac is like almost 9-to-1 350 with stock 7A heads, stock 350 from 73, towing cam, Edelbrock Performer intake, 600 CFM carbon headers, and that engine did 13.7s in my 72, and it actually at about 3750 in the Bonneville with a 342 gear, completely streetable, power steering, you name it. Car ran a 1485 with uncorked exhaust. I mean, that's really, really good for a pretty much stock engine. That's actually really impressive, to be honest with you. Everybody was just about tickled to death about that, because that's actually that's cooking, man. That's not a bad street engine at all, and it's just a towing cam. But I've built other combinations that have gone low 12s with a car at about 3,500 pounds, and you know, there was no cylinder head porting. It was still a small block head, just big valves, and that was it. You know, just a good hydraulic flat tappet cam. RPM intake, absolutely nothing crazy. So I have combinations that I have done across the board, and so has Dave. So I think we have to sit down and figure out what we want to share with you guys, and kind of do what we did with the last video. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. It seems like it was enjoyed, and if that information is wanted, we'll definitely share it. But keep in mind, guys, that's from our perspective. We're not salesmen. We're not pushing products. We're just two dudes who have been racing Oldsmobiles for a bit. Dave has been doing it longer than I have. I've been messing with Oldsmobiles probably for the last 18 years. It's pretty much been the only brand I've messed with. I've built some Fords, as you guys have seen in some of my very earlier videos. And we will be putting together a 351 Windsor here, which if you guys are Ford fans, there's actually a really good cylinder head comparison there too, with my buddy's prior experience with going just from iron heads to aluminum heads, economy aluminum heads, how big of a difference it made on his combination and how really impressive it was. And maybe we'll touch base on that, and we'll switch brands a little bit for next weekend. But at heart, we're still going to do Oldsmobile stuff. But I will say that even though I used to hate Fords, after seeing what his 351 Windsor did, I kind of want to build one and stuff it into like a Fox body, like a mid-80s Thunderbird. I really like that body style, just for fun. But either way, this video is long and boring enough, but I really want to thank you guys for watching that video. Again, share, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass, and that video really gave me a good kick in the ass to knowing what direction to go. And you know, the bottom end stuff on the engines is pretty basic. You know, as far as the bottom end isn't gonna really make power, it's gonna kind of dictate where the engine's gonna make power to some extent, but really it comes down to longevity. But the cylinder heads are a big part of the heart of the engine, along with the cam. And I think you know, touching based off of the reaction we got, I think it's going to be a good topic to touch on, and we're just going to take upon it. We're going to go about it our way, which is pretty relatable. We're not, you know, he works for a machine shop, but it's not a specialty shop, and I'm just a dude building crap in my basement and garage, and I've been doing it that way forever. So I think it's a good combination of Dave is a perfectionist. I am very much rough around the edges, but I make stuff work and make do with what I got. So I think it's a good blend of, you know, having somebody who's really meticulous, but also having somebody like me who works with nothing but total crap. But we make that crap work really good. I mean, this engine by rights should have not ran what it ran. I only wanted like an 1180 engine, and this thing went 1158 to 113, and I thought I was at like 10 1/4 to 1 compression ratio, but apparently I CC'd the heads wrong, or I got my numbers mixed up or something. But again, I CC'd these heads a long time ago, and I never actually re-CC'd them after I put them on. So when I CC'd these heads, that was when we did Project Enron, which is like 4 years ago at this point, because it was during, I think, COVID. It's crazy to say that, you know, Project Enron was 4 years ago. Damn. Go back and watch those videos, man. That was a really fun project. If you guys want a project like that, I could definitely get on board with that again. You know, I got spare transmissions, spare engines. Shit. Somebody wants to donate a car, I'll put an engine and transmission in it. So either way, share, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys around. Take it easy.